I'm trying to be sad.
I am a man named Luke Thomas. When I was a toddler, I used to have this recurring nightmare where I was falling down the stairs of the first house I remember living in. I kept tumbling, banging my head, legs, and arms against the thinly carpeted steps, each impact feeling just as painful as it might in reality. Every movement I made to try and reorient myself or stop the fall was in vain. It was nighttime, nobody else was awake, nobody would be around to catch me. And if the sound of my falling woke anyone up, I'd have to wait until I reached the bottom of the stairs for that comfort and relief. Can we stop? But that relief wouldn't come. The length of the stairs was the same as reality, but I wouldn't stop falling. Every time I would get a glimpse of the floor beneath, it felt like the same distance away, appearing finite, yet feeling infinite. And eventually I would strike the steps in such a way that my whole body would fall toward the floor in a single short flight, and as my face hurled toward the base of the steps, right at that final moment of impact, I'd wake up. Sometimes I'd cry, sometimes I'd tell my parents and ask to sleep in their room, sometimes I'd try my best to not think about it and go back to sleep. Sometimes I wouldn't sleep at all, but waking up never felt like comfort or relief. Can we stop? It's one of my earliest memories, so I think about it a lot, and I always wondered why my brain would wake me up right before resolution. If the constant tumbling felt so real, why did my brain cease to emulate that pain once it was made to end? I wonder if the dream had gone its course, and I would lay on the floor as someone in my family would scoop me up and comfort me, if by the end I still would have thought of it as a nightmare. In my adult life, I've become addicted to sleep. It's not out of the ordinary for me to get home from work, shower, have dinner, and immediately go to sleep. On my days off, I may find myself getting a full 12 hours of rest and still taking a 3 to 4 hour nap in the afternoon. When I do, I hope for dreams. Lucid dreams, realistic dreams, dreams I'll remember when I wake up, dreams I won't, dreams where I cry, dreams where I die, yes, even nightmares. Sometimes I just wish I could have a dream that makes me so terrified I wake up in a cold sweat and have trouble closing my eyes again. I pray to feel something. I yearn to be taken somewhere else, somewhere that isn't here, somewhere I'm not in this apartment, somewhere that isn't this dense, white, one-story cube lacking in both stairs and family, somewhere I don't have this life, this job, this body, this voice. Can we stop? In my experience, when people go through trauma and depression, they sometimes think back to moments in their lives when they felt happy, or at least peaceful. For me, that moment was in summer of 2016. Me and my partner at the time were swimming. We had the pool to ourselves. The sky was overcast, but the pool water was still pleasantly warm. I wouldn't go so far as to say everything was perfect, because it never really is, but I was at least under the impression that things were slated to improve for me. My living situation, my friends, my relationship, my job, and my online presence seemed promising. I was the man named Luke, and I was happy. And if I had just stopped. I wouldn't wish what happened in my late 2017 on anyone. I began dreading going into work, especially during the holidays when working 65 hours a week or more was mandatory. My partner left me, and immediately began dating, of all people, my next-door neighbor. A rift in my friend group was created. I experienced real depression for the first time. I distanced myself from my friends and family because I was ashamed. I believed everything I was experiencing was due punishment. For not being a better boyfriend, for not creating art as often as I ought to, for keeping toxic friends around, for letting my feelings affect my work, and for not being enough. So I would sleep. I would lie down, close my eyes, and be taken somewhere else. Anywhere else. Can we go to the pool today? How about the amusement park? Or the two of us can just sit on the couch and enjoy each other's company. In fact, Why just be somewhere else when we could be someone else entirely? Someone successful, charismatic, sincere. Someone who isn't the man named Luke. Someone who's not such a lousy excuse for a friend, for a child, for a sibling, for a lover, and for a man. Can we stop? But it wouldn't stop. I just kept tumbling down the stairs. Except unlike my nightmares, I couldn't see the floor. The end wasn't some unattainable goal, it just wasn't there. And no amount of reorienting would help me get my balance back. Thanks to a handful of good people in my life, that wasn't where things ended. I spent 2018 working on myself. I opened up to my family more, I deepened my connection with the friends who stuck around, and I worked on myself. The depression never went away completely, but I found ways of dealing with it. I met new people and got a glimpse into lives unlike my own. I educated myself on philosophies that challenged how I saw the world. I became more empathetic. I found the clarity to realize what I was doing and what was done to me in the past. I thought I had done all of the growing I need to do before, but I realized that personal growth as an adult has to be intentional. So that's how I went about it. Intentionally. I went out of my way to do things that helped me grow, like changing my diet, organizing my clutter, developing healthy coping mechanisms for my depression, and practicing self-care that goes beyond pampering. And while objectively my upward trajectory should have been obvious, on the inside the tumbling didn't stop. And with the growth and clarity I had amassed, I finally got to the point where I could see the floor again. And it was closer than I had thought, but getting there meant taking a final step I was terrified of. I had made the man named Luke the focus. Everything I did was to make myself fit that identity better, to squeeze myself into this framework I was given, and for the first time I saw that what I needed was a new framework. I didn't have to be the man named Luke anymore. I could be someone I actually want to be, someone better, more genuine to who I am inside. But to end the nightmare meant choosing to wake up. I was addicted to sleep. I'd grown accustomed to it. Even if falling down the stairs was painful, it was familiar. There's a rhythm to it. And I don't know what nightmare will take this one's place. Today is my birthday. I turned 24 on this day 1 year ago. Like I tend to do on my birthdays, I took some time to reflect on who I've been. I realized just how much I had grown in the last decade or so, but rather than be happy for who I've become, I found myself resentful of who I've been. I used to be awful to people who weren't like me. 10 years ago, I was proudly homophobic, deeply transphobic, considerably more ableist than I would have admitted, and while I might not have called myself racist, I certainly harbored some very troubling prejudices. And I definitely had some internalized sexism. The ways I chose to express those ideas were tactless and hurtful to people who deserve so much better. I've been reassured that I shouldn't be judged for who I was in my adolescence, but I still feel like I'll never atone for that. I can't undo the mean-spirited things I said, the jokes I made, and the love I failed to extend. And I'm far from finished growing. I'm not woke just because I'm better. Odds are good that I still believe horrible things about other people just because of an arbitrary label society puts on them. I had a chance to do some real world-changing good in my youth, and I threw that opportunity away in the name of a god I don't even believe in anymore. And I can't get that time back. I'm not sure I'll ever escape this feeling of being an imposter. I've gotten to soak up the privilege of good health, safe housing, steady income, and a comfortable amount of respect and notability on the internet while giving virtually nothing back. It feels shady whenever I ask for support. I put on a front of confidence, but internally I wonder if I should even bother asking. There are countless others who are struggling harder than I am and have already done more good in their lives than I can ever hope to. I'm giving in to that idea. I'm not going to ask for your support, and to be honest, I'm fine. I'm not perfect, but I can manage. But for the support you've already shown me, I can at least offer you the truth. This is the final episode of Look at This. It's time for me to break the sleep cycle and wake up. To keep dreaming, certainly, but to bring those dreams to life instead of spending my life in dreams. The man named Luke is not who I am. Not anymore. Audio live? Camera live? Hi, my name is Ellie. A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep. In dreams you will lose your heartache. Whatever you wish for, you keep. Have faith in your dream, and someday your rainbow will come smiling through. No matter how your heart is grieving, if you keep on believing, the dream that you wish will come true. Yeah, no, I'm not done.